everyone, it's Catherine here. Good morning. It is like 7:30 in the morning and I am staying here at Rosen Shingle Creek. I'm here for the Florida Realtors Conference 2021 and I am out exploring today because there are no sessions that interest me until about 11 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get some exercise in. Well, come to find out that the fitness center is not included. You have to pay for it. So I saw on Google Maps that there was what looked to be a nature trail. And I'm like, I wonder if there really is a nature trail here, because they don't advertise it. And lo and behold, you can see the sign right here behind me, there is a nature trail. So we're gonna go and we're gonna go check it out today. This video is in addition to the other video that I will be doing, which has like kind of like the resort and the room tour. Just because this is something kind of unique. So let's go and take a look. So as you can see, the nature trail is bricked, and you never want to go on this paved trail because the paved trail is for the golf course that's here. So you want to stay on this brick trail. And I'm also going to GPS this to see how far this actual trail is from that sign. From here, you get a great view of all the hotels that are down by the convention center. And I don't know if you can really hear it on the video, but we are right next to the highway. So I'm not sure how this nature trail is going to be, or how serene it's going to be if you're looking for that. Because yeah, it's quite loud. And here we are at the end. So the path ends, and we do have a map here. All right, so the nature trail actually starts here is what they're saying. So there's the road to the nature trail, and the whole loop is just about a mile. So let's go ahead and do it. Here you also get a really beautiful view of the hotel and the golf course. So we'll see if we find any critters on this nature trail today. But either way, it did say it was 1.25 miles, so it's a pretty good walk for the morning. If you come and do this trail, make sure you bring shoes that you don't care too much about. The grass is not overly high, but you can kind of tell it's soaking wet from last night, and my feet are already soaked. I'll probably do a few more of these great shots of the hotel as well as we go for our walk. So on the path, you will eventually hit this kind of junction in the road, and it doesn't tell you which way to go. But if we refer back to the map at the beginning, we actually are going to go to the right. Do you have these signs throughout making you question your life choices? So far, I haven't seen anything. But if I do see something, I will share it. As you continue on, there's a really weird dynamic here because on the one side of the path, you are literally, you can see the cars right on the highway. Through here, you can see them a little bit better. We are right on the 528. But then over to the left, you have a beautiful pond. And you could hear all the bugs, all the critters and everything. So it's like I said, it's a really interesting dynamic. So far, I'm digging this. I just made the turn on the trail. And you can kind of see here where it starts turning more into like woods and forest. So it's a pretty nice trail. Like I said, so far haven't seen anything. So then some birds, but this is much better than paying for a hawk just flew by up there as well, by those cypress trees. This is much better if you need to get a little workout in when you're here than paying for the fitness center. Here we are coming up to a little bridge, which is pretty interesting. You can see like there's a lot of roots and things like that, so definitely watch your step. Oh, this is like a little dam. Wow, who would have thought? It's also a bit buggy here right now where I am, so keep that in mind. If you're very bug sensitive, you'll probably want to bring some bug spray with you. But I don't know people that really travel with that anymore, now that the Zika isn't as big of a thing. So if you don't have it, I just had a couple flies buzzing around me. Nothing too major. But check out this view. My gosh, this is really nice. As you cross over the bridge, I don't know if they burned this area, but you can see it's pretty much just dirt and not that super high grass that we saw on the other side of the bridge. Ah, this is something here I want to show you. So if you're not from Florida, or you're not from an area that has these, this I have in my yard, and these are actually molehills. So we get a lot of moles here in Florida. If I step on it, it squishes right back down. That doesn't hurt them or anything. But yeah, if you see something like that, you can kind of see the trail. That would be a molehill. Throughout the walk, you'll also see these signs. And so this one is all about some of the different plants that you'll see on the trails. But you also had some of these about different animals and things like that. This is just the first one I'm showing you. So these are pretty good information, especially if you're not local to the area. So when you get to this junction, the actual trail, you actually want to go right. It's an out and back on the map, and that's part of the 1.25 miles. But if you do get to this point and you're like, yeah, you know what, I've seen enough, there's the hotel. So you're not too far away. But we're gonna go ahead, do that loop. I'll show you what it looks like when we get to the end, and then we'll head back. This over here is a really beautiful part of the trail that's a bit hard to see. But down there, it's all waterlogged, and you have these beautiful cypress trees here. This is the quintessential Florida swamp. So if you really are just visiting and want to get a little taste of what a Florida swamp looks like, this trail would be absolutely perfect for that. Here you can see a little more of the swamp, but it's still a bit hard to tell. If you have ever been on the Disney Skyliner in between Hollywood Studios and Caribbean Beach Resort, they talk about you are now passing Shingle Creek, the headwaters of the Florida Everglades. And this hotel is Rosen Shingle Creek, because that's where we are. We are literally at the headwaters of the Florida Everglades. So that's a really kind of cool nature thing. You know, when you think about hotels, you don't really think about the nature aspect of them, but it is pretty interesting. So here we are. This is the end of the trail. And so all we're gonna do, you can see some more kind of swampiness over here, which is fun. And all we're gonna do is turn around, but this sign right here has a whole history of Shingle Creek. And even on the top, Shingle Creek is the very headwater to Florida's Everglades. Very, very cool. There is actually a historical park as well in Kissimmee. So if you go to Kissimmee, there's a pioneer village, but then there is also another spot as well that talks about kind of the history of Shingle Creek, and you actually can kayak or canoe down Shingle Creek. On my way to the end of this trail, I passed this sign, and I wanted to chat with you a little bit about it. So this sign here, and then also the one on the end, both outline different snakes. So this one is the red rat snake, and I believe the other one down there was the yellow rat snake. Now here's the deal. They always post, beware of venomous snakes and everything on these trails for liability reasons. And the God's honest truth to you is, on all my times of, being out on the trails, hiking, walking, whatever, I've only seen a venomous snake one time, ever. No, sorry, 2 times, ever. I forgot about the other one. So I have seen an actual coral snake. It's lived right by me within about 2 feet. This was years and years ago. And it was totally fine. It was nonchalant. I didn't know I was there. The only other time I've ever seen one, I forgot about this one, was on the, see here's the one about the yellow one. The only other time I've ever seen one was on the Van Fleet State Trail in Polk City. I had gotten off my bike and I was doing some geocaching and came across a copperhead. So those were the only 2 times. Most of the time on these trails, you're going to see one of 2 types of snakes. Okay, you're going to see a big long one called a black racer. And the black racers are totally harmless. They are extremely scared. You really don't have anything to worry about with them. All right, hold that thought for a second because we have a white egret. Whoops, sorry. I'll edit that out. A white egret here on the tree. Very, very common in Florida. The other type of snake that you'll see is called a ring-necked snake. A lot of times you don't even know these things are snakes. They look like just sticks and they're really small. So if you are hiking and you see this little thing in the path and it's a little tiny black snake with a white ring around its neck, those are also harmless. I think this is my favorite part of the trail that we have seen so far, because on both sides, well, first of all, the path is really nice pine needles, but on both sides you have these really nice, I'm not sure what those purple flowers are called. I'm gonna have to look those up. But almost like water lilies. And you can really see, like from here, it just looks like the wilderness goes on forever. When in reality, we have, you know, 6-lane highway behind us. And we have, you know, Universal's Epic Universe breaking ground right next to this hotel. All right, well, let's go and finish this walk up. Some golfers out this morning. And you can see the path over here in the grass versus you don't want to walk on the paved golfer's path. Of course, right after I say stay off the path, I see someone coming at me with rollerblades, and then I see people walking in the other direction. So I have never seen a golf course that you are allowed to be on the paved path. So if you get away with it, that's all fine and dandy, but be advised, you are really not supposed to be on these paved golf paths because of liability for if a golf ball goes astray, you get hit. And also, you know, golf carts are moving vehicles on there. So even if you see somebody doing it, like I just saw a bunch of people doing it, don't do it. You're not supposed to. If you are also not from Florida, you may not know about these guys. So these are Sandhill Cranes. These are endangered here in Florida and they are protected. If you see them crossing the road in front of you, you are to stop your car. You cannot hit them. So sometimes if you're driving and you may not know why people are stopping and you're like, well, just hit the bird, but you're really not allowed to here in Florida. The cool thing is that they mate for life. They are monogamous. And so it really is a big deal if one of the mates dies. And here they come. Here we are, we're almost back to the start. I just hit 1 mile. And when you do these, the miles are very slow. There's like a 30-minute mile for me today. And that's okay. The important thing is just get up and move, especially like for me, I'm going to be in a conference all day. So this is a really, really nice way to start the day out.